Alright, hello, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video here. Today we have another How Hard Can the Unit Hit video. And this time around, of course, we are going to be doing the new EZA Kale and Khalifa. Now, I did actually intend to get to them last week, or the end of last week, this weekend, whatever. But I had a sort of busier weekend than I anticipated, so I do apologize for that. But, you know, getting it out now. I mean, we're using pretty much the same sort of setup we did for the defense. But obviously, you know, with the sort of important part of having these sort of attack items. I mean, the item phase really does make such a big difference. So even though, I mean, we got them stacked up obviously pretty high last time, I do like to make sure to get one for each, you know, attack defense, because once again, the items make a pretty huge difference. And also last time, I feel like we could have gotten better luck with like the super attack sort of stacks anyway, so hopefully this time, you know, we do get better luck, but of course we'll have to see. Now that being said, mine are 79%. I feel my build here is pretty competent, pretty good. But of course, I mean, we'll have to see how lucky we get. You know, I do have a sort of raw attack equip on them from the gold. I think they're going to be looking pretty good by the end here. I mean, we got the domain from Tech UI. We got AGL Gogeta's, you know, active. Like, we have Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. Like, he's, honestly, I've probably used this guy more than any other Super EZA. As crazy as that sounds, even though they started last year. Like, I don't know. I just, at least, maybe not used more than any other Super EZA, but in like total time of usage, maybe. I feel like this guy's just going to become a staple to these sort of videos. Like, the 40% attack and defense for 2 turns. I mean, because it's an extreme class enemy every time, so it is a pretty decent buff to get just pretty much for free. So I mean, his Super EZA was definitely, at least for me, I'm pretty satisfied with it. But that all being said, I mean, here we go. We're ready. Let's get this going. Alright, now I do also, I probably should have done these guys sooner. But I think starting, I'm gonna try from the time this should go up, tomorrow or like the next day, getting out, you know, the Saiyans with limits. I have not done them yet, surprisingly. I probably honestly should have. But I hadn't, so I'll get an attack and defense one out for them this week. I do think that should be pretty good. Because we are in sort of a little bit of a slow period, although we are about to get, you know, a new Dokkan Fest, so we'll see what happens there. But that being said, let's see what we got here. Hopefully, they can give us a lot of stacks here, but you know, I don't know. My luck with Kale and Khalifa has been kind of rough. At least for the guaranteed additional, it's a high chance to become a super, but it honestly feels more like a medium to me for my usage. Let's see here. Oh, we did actually get it. Okay, so we're guaranteed at least 3 here. So that is, you know, pretty good. But they don't have their full build up until their 4th, so hopefully we can also get the hidden potential, and that being a super. Now next to, you know, Khalifa here. Okay, we did get it, but it was a normal. Next to Khalifa here, obviously, I mean, that's our Universe Rival Saga ally. We should be looking pretty good. But you know, we'll have to see how everything turns out in the end. I also, oh, that's, please don't die, please dodge. Okay, thank you. She could get pretty messed up this early on. Well, you know, Interesting. I just thought, damn, should I be using Strength Kefla?
I kind of like how human that is.
Goku! 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 Dad! Goku! It's up to you, Kakarot. Don't you fail.
Okay, so I said there towards the, right before the intro started playing. I mean, technically speaking, right, she is perfect 7 out of 7 with Strength Kefla, but I don't know. Because the thing is, with these, I mean, Int Khalifa is kind of important here. It's not like I can exactly sub anyone out in order to get her in. But even without Strength Kefla, our link set should be pretty good. I think pretty much the only thing we'll be missing out on is Power Bestowed by God, which is a 10% attack when performing super attacks sort of buff, which is pretty huge. I'm not saying it's not. But I mean, with next to Khalifa and Gogeta, we'll have all of our other attack links, so it should be fine. But kind of, I genuinely don't think I could make it work, because if I tried, we'd just kill Rose like nonstop with the Dokkan attack. So is what it is there, unfortunately. But I do think, even without, I mean, it's just 10% attack there, but I do think without that, though, we should still do pretty fine. I think Kefla is going to be pretty crazy. Now, in terms of the defense stacking, she is actually our second highest overall. Not even close to Hit, though. I mean, Hit is just in a league of his own, and I think I would wager Hit will be in a league of his own until, at the very least, 11th anniversary, maybe even after that. Like, I just, the only character I can see potentially coming up to like match him would be like if the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta card, the 8th anniversary one, like they will EZA during 11th anniversary. So I mean, if they get a really crazy EZA, maybe they could, but I think Hit's just going to be the best defense stacker for quite a while. Now, I'm not really sure. Like I said, Kefla was the second highest defense, even beating out like Tech Vegito, AGL Bardock. I'm not really sure how she's going to place offensively. And I'm also not really sure how like quick I should transform her. Honestly, probably starting next turn. Or, not next turn. I can't do it next turn. It's turn 6 from start of battle, isn't it? So the turn after that, I will go into Kefla. Because at that point, she does actually have... the additional is guaranteed to be a super. And she has 2 of those, so... On average, we will be getting more attack that way. It just, for when I did the defense one, obviously I did have to stay in base, because she does not stack defense when transformed. But I do think Kefla is going to look pretty crazy, especially just from having that one extra, guaranteed super, going from the 50% chance to guaranteed. Like, I swear, like, I've had such horrendous luck fucking that non-stop. So even with just that plus the items, like, I do think Kefla's gonna be pretty crazy here by the end. But that all being said, like I said, I do want to really make sure I can get this out tonight, early as possible. I do think we should, in about, from the time I'm recording this, 12 and a little under 12 and a half hours, we should be getting... I'm very confident. I don't know why people really anticipated last night, because Global does have a maintenance tomorrow.
This energy. Could it be Vegeta?
Tomorrow night. I believe it starts. The maintenance, I believe it starts in roughly like 30 hours or something. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to get the Dokkan, the unit will be revealed tonight. I personally still think it's going to be something Daima related. I've seen Tao. I sincerely doubt it. I mean, we all play Dokkan. If you played for a while, I think OG Dragon Ball is underrepresented heavily and disrespected in all of the games. Dokkan especially, considering how old it is and how little representation there is. But just because I think that doesn't mean it's going to change. I sincerely do not expect to get another premium OG Dragon Ball character this year. And if we do, I mean, that practically like guarantees or confirms to me that we have to be getting DKP versus Kid Goku. But considering we just got, that free-to-play LR DKP, which he still needs a premium, but I'm skeptical. But I mean, it could be shallow. I think that'd be pretty hype, but I mean, we'll have to see exactly what happens. This year's gonna be a little weird. But that being said, I'm gonna cut away here. Like I said, I do want to get this out before the Dokkan sort of thing tonight. I am really excited for that. We'll see what happens there. I'm very confident it will be tonight, but I maybe they even save it for tomorrow. I guess I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm gonna get stacking, and we are gonna see just how hard EZA TEQ Kefla can hit. Alright, so we are back. Now, we're up to turn 99 here. I did transform Kefla as soon as I could. And in Kefla, we have gotten 156 supers. Now, I say while in Kefla because something about the which to be fair, I don't know. I mean, this is a new sort of feature, right? Well, vaguely new. The sort of counter for the attacks and the supers and everything. It doesn't actually. I've noticed. You probably have too. It doesn't show supers that you've done before you've transformed, if it's like a transforming character, if that makes any sense. So I mean, there was the like 4, because we got them turn 1, so then turn 3, turn 5, well, 3 turns then. So there was 3 appearances, obviously, where we got super Count Khalifa. Those stacks aren't included here, but I mean, roughly speaking, another like 10 that's not included here. 8, 10, something like that. So, Kefla has quite a few stacks here. Now, I do think she's going to look pretty crazy, but something, to note here, with her, right, she is going to jump up quite a bit. I mean, a lot of these characters I am having to make notes for like this recently. It's just the domain and like the active skill, like it's so insane. Like some of the original ones, it's not. It's like, okay, you have your baseline turn, and then like, I mean, there's the item, and that's it. But like, there are so many extra steps that have been like added to these recently, which it's kind of a good thing, to be fair. It does make the numbers quite a bit bigger. Which is what we're all here for, right? So, that being said, no items up. We do have Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku support up, but obviously Tech UI domain is not up. It only does last 3 turns, so can't really take advantage of it. And this is the links we have active. Now, mind you, when we are doing our item turn, we will have Fused Fighter because of Gogeta. But currently, we have everything else. We're not going to have power bestowed by God because, that's like a Patara thing. Obviously, Gogeta doesn't have that. But I do think Kefla is going to look pretty crazy here. And let's just get going. I'm really excited to see what she's going to get up to, because I actually don't even know what number she's going to hit right now. Now, vaguely, I usually do have a pretty good idea of what this first baseline turn looks like. But I mean, obviously, you can see Rose is still very high. I did pretty good this time around, especially and it does really help that I was using Khalifa here, and she gets a lot of her stats based off of Kale, which was kind of deadly early on because as soon as we transform Kefla, she loses her great chance of dodge, the additional super, and the attack's kind of helpful, but it did actually lead to some potential issues early on, but we did survive. However, right, I mean obviously Rosé's very high, but I do like to try and avoid grabbing as many same type orbs as possible. Obviously, we did get Kefla 6 orbs there. Now, it's not like a huge, ginormous difference, but it is 30%. So, I mean, that 30% phase 2, I have not seen in several turns. So, I don't know exactly what she's going to get up to here, but I think it's going to be pretty crazy. So, I mean, let's see what we got. If I had to guess, well, here, I mean, there's only one more attack after. Let me just let it play out. But I have a vague idea. I'll comment on if my presumption here is correct. I'm not sure, but I don't want to. Let's see. Okay, 263 mil as our starting super here. Now, obviously, she does have 2 additional guaranteed supers, as well as my build. I have the like 18 additional. So 264 mil, which is a 36% chance to proc an additional per, attack launched here. So we do have a pretty good chance of activating it, but we'll see if we actually do, of course. 266. And let's see for the final one here. We did actually get it. That's huge. 267 mil. Which my guess, by the way, I was gonna just say like 300 mil. So a little bit off the mark there, but I think the last turn that she got a super, right? I think it was around like 220 something odd mil. So we added an additional like 40 mil just from getting the 6 orbs. So I mean that's quite a huge difference. And obviously, once again, that's before the items, the domain, the active, like. She is going to jump up very high, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to get up to. I wonder, is she? I don't want to say it's going to happen, but I think it's possible that she could break 1 billion, which is becoming more common, but by no means isn't common, right? So, without further ado, let's do that, and then we can just rotate off Blue Kaioken. And then, because I do not want to put Tech UI right there, or even at the end, as little counters against Rose as possible, preferably. So, let's get the domain in here. Okay, now obviously all these separate phases, they really do add so much. Now, because Kefla is superclass, she does get the 15%. However, obviously she's not Realm of God, so she doesn't get the additional 15%. But even just 15%, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but because it's its own separate phase, it's just an overall 15% increase from what it normally would be, which is obviously pretty huge, especially considering just baseline we're up to 266 mil there. So I'm really excited. Let's see what we can do here. I genuinely do think she's gonna break 1 billion. I don't know for sure, obviously, but I mean, considering if I suppose there is also the factor of getting lucky with the orb field. I mean, we'll see what happens there. It does help that she changes her own sort of orbs, So I do feel pretty confident I can get the full 23 here. But as per usual, you know, we may have to play around with it, do sort of different orders. But I mean, there's only so much I can do, because I do need her next to, like, I do need her in slot 2 to get the links from both Kefla and Gogeta. So I mean, if we don't get the full 23 with Kefla slot 1, I can put Gogeta slot 1. But obviously I have to use both his actives before I grab the orbs with him. So there's not a lot that I can change with the order if we don't get like, oh my god, dude. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Rose was half health. He was half health. Oh my god. And this is why I need to be careful with these. You guys do not understand how many of these I load up. You know, I get stacking, and like Rose, you know, this is a late 2023 event that was easy when it came out. Now, it does work for a setting like this, especially because, you know, some of these characters, like in Kefla, do start out very weak, which I need them to be weak, but, you know, I do have to be pretty cautious with these. So, we do have quite a few amount of tech orbs, and here's the moment of truth, right? I'll see if I'm just gonna start out doing this, and if I need to do things in a different order, I will try that. Okay, so physical and strength, please. Of course. Okay, well, and then at this point, I'm just gonna cut away. I'm gonna reset the turn several times here, see if I can't get better luck with the orb field. We'll be back though. Okay, I've reset the orb field a few times here now, and seemingly this is the best I can get. I don't know. This is I mean, she changes tech orbs. Like, come on, really? That's so crazy to me. She changes them, and I still can't get the full. I've been having pretty bad luck getting the full 23 recently. I thought for sure we could get it here, but I mean, it is what it is. At least it's still 22, right? I mean, 22, I mean, we're only missing 5% there. That is still quite a lot. Now, obviously, I have used Gogeta's active. You know, she does, once again, she does a fused fighter, right? We do have, I mean, that's 5% Super Saiyan. It's another 15% Warriors of Universe 6, 6% Tournament Power, 7%. And then finally, Fierce Battle, 20%. Like, she has quite a bit of attack from her links. And we do have the item, the active, the domain, the support. Like, she is going to be pretty crazy here. And let's see just how crazy is, right? I genuinely, like, I think she's breaking the billion. I'm not gonna, like, lock it in 100%. But, like, I think she's going to. I'm pretty confident. I mean, it's just the amount of buffs here. She's going to be at least like 900 mil if she's not like just a billion. I think so. I guess we'll see, but maybe like 800 mil. I don't know. I think she's gonna be up there though. I really do. Yep. See, Okay, so that was 1,040 million. I knew she'd be right there. Oh my god, okay. 1,045 million. Now, Zamaski's not gonna be able to take this for long, so I don't even know if we'll even get to see 4 supers. Okay, we potentially can. 1,051 million. Can we get the 4th super? Can we get the 4th super? No! Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so unlucky. That's so unlucky. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, you know, like I said, I was really convinced she could break that 1 billion threshold there, and she did. 1,050,000,000. That's I mean, there's not a lot of characters that can do that. Just flat out, and you know, I get that it's like, oh, you know, you have the items and the, you know, the domain and the blah 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 blah. I get that, but like, I still have the exact same setups for every other character. So I don't get why people say she doesn't do damage. I know she doesn't have the crits like damn near every other character this year. But I mean, I do the best setups that I can for every other character, and that's 79% Kefla. So I mean, hey, all I'm saying, it looks like to me she does some pretty good damage. Because in that ballpark with her, it's literally like the 7th years, the 10th years, a hit. It's not a very exhaustive list. I mean, that's practically it. There might be someone like slipping my mind, but I mean, more or less, that's it. Like, there's not a lot of characters that can break 1,000,000,000. And yeah, that they definitely cooked with her EZA. I'm definitely glad about that. She released in such a sort of a weird spot fashion, whatever, that she definitely deserved this sort of glow up. Now, hopefully, Universe 6 can get some more buffs. You know, she's meant to help it, but I mean, we'll see what happens there. And Super Boss especially. But there we go. Kefla, she definitely hit pretty hard, huh? Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.